Hello YouTubers! So I have a bit of time before my dinner is ready, so I thought I'd take up the challenge I was issued by Maureen and answer 5 things about me that general viewers of YouTube might not know. There's probably a lot more than 5 considering I've barely appeared on YouTube, at least not to my knowledge, but I'll start with a few of the basics. Okay, thing number 1, well, I was going to say that I love this stuff with a burning passion, and that Coke Zero should really pay me to say wonderful things like that, because in fact I have been in a commercial. I was in middle school, and for some reason or another they decided that a middle school student was a really great person to shoot a commercial against drunk driving. So I stood in a cemetery and I recited a long speech that ended with a line about love means never having to say you're sorry, and then I went up to a gravestone and said I'm sorry to somebody that I apparently killed while drunk driving in this commercial when I was a middle school student and had never been behind the wheel of a car. So that's one thing. I also later was able to parlay my film experience to work as an extra in Spike Lee's movie Summer of Sam, where we had to dress like it was summer and it was freezing cold, and we stood outside the Brooklyn courthouse and pretended to be enraged when they brought in the guy who was supposed to be the Son of Sam. I've in fact never actually seen the movie, but I did try to fast forward through it at one point to see if I could see me in the scene, and I couldn't. But I'm there, and I got a cold because of it. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2, it's a show and tell. I have a sword. It's a really pretty sword. I spent some money on it, and I'm very happy with my sword. I used to work at a Renaissance fair, but I was a paid actor, and I also took lessons in stage combat, and at one point I was a advanced actor combatant certified in single sword, sword and shield, unarmed, broadsword, rapier and dagger, and knife fighting. Rapier and dagger was my favorite because that's like two-handed and you're like yeah, that was a little crazy. I'm gonna put this down. Okay, I'm back. I've moved this a little closer. Maybe you can hear me a little better. I hope so. I'll talk louder too. Thing 3, oh shoot, that's 4. Thing 3, I taught myself to Irish step dance by watching Riverdance something like 8 times a week for several months. And to be fair, and in my defense, I was working at the theater in London where Riverdance first appeared, so I got to see it for free. And I watched it a lot until it was sort of pounded directly into my brain. I didn't actually need to watch it anymore to be able to do it. And then a few years later, when I was being all cool and going out and hanging out in bars, I would go to this Irish music bar in New York. And I would watch, or listen to rather, this great Irish rock band. And I would do some dancing with one of my friends. And we actually, at one point, it was a not-so-crowded night, and the bartender came over to where my friend and I were sitting, and she brought over our drinks, which we hadn't ordered, and she said, these are free if you guys get up and dance, and otherwise, you have to pay double. So, we got up and danced. It was the best thing to do. Okay, thing 4, because we're up to 4 already. When I was a kid, I had 2 best friends, and we had vivid imaginations, and we would, play all the time, as kids do. Probably with a lot more leeway than kids have today, I think. I don't know. And so one of the things that we liked to do is pretended we had a fake detective agency. And I think this was influenced by my love of Moonlighting and Remington Steele and Heart to Heart and all those other great 80s shows. So we pretended we had a detective agency, and for some reason we were all sisters running this detective agency, and my name was Cake Suzuki, which I think is a totally awesome name, and I can't wait to use it again sometime. Cake Suzuki. Come on, I totally look like a cake. Alright, YouTubers, we are up to thing 5 already. And this is a good one, I think. My friends make fun of me because I have a lot of shoes, but I don't have that many. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things. I only have about 37 pairs of shoes. That's 37. But that doesn't count like slippers and flip-flops. Okay, so that means I probably have a few more. So we'll say just over 40 pairs of shoes. But I wanted to show you these, which are my favorite pair of shoes. Because these are the shoes that I will be wearing when I get married in about 3 months. Yes, I am wearing purple shoes to my wedding. I'm wearing a white wedding dress. And I'm very excited to be wearing these when I walk down the aisle. So that is my 5th thing. And I hope you've enjoyed them. I don't have 5 people I can tag, but general YouTube viewers, please feel free to tag yourselves and post 5 interesting things about you, or not so interesting, depending on how much you enjoyed or didn't enjoy this video. So post away, and let's thank Maureen and Hank and John Green for starting this little series of videos, and I hope to see you online. Bye!